Oh, hi, everyone's. You ready to do a live show, Kurt?
I'm ready.
All right. Take us away whenever you feel like it, man.
Welcome once again to Nook's Tavern, the in-game on Twitch Animal Crossing podcast. With me, as always, is the Jake to my Elwood, Mr. Philip J. Keating.
Hi, Kurt. How are you, man?
Everything's great. How are you doing?
I've been a lot better. As you know, and a lot of our fans know, is I've been sick all week. And this is the first show that I've done in an entire week. So a lot of you have reached out to say, hope I'm feeling well, and I appreciate that. But I kind of shut it down for an entire week. But I'm doing better. I'm feeling better.
That's great. And you know what else would make you feel better? If people went to patreon.com/Nooks Tavern just to check things out and become a patron of this podcast.
I don't have health care.
But seriously, they can also check us out live each and every week on twitch.tv/Nooks Tavern, Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern time, where they can check out the show live.
Yes, you can. So how's
Phil.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, how's your island been going?
Oh, man, it's been a very strange week. Since I have been sick, I was able to actually get turnips this week because I couldn't go to work. So I didn't go too much, just picked up a 4-stack, a 5-stack of turnips.
Oh, okay.
And, didn't put any more than 50,000 bells into it. But,
wow, okay.
Executive producer of the show, B. Mel, let me onto his island very late to sell. And I got my money back, which I'm happy about, plus more. But mainly, I've had a bunch of visitors this week.
Oh.
I had Sahara, CJ, Red, Gulliver, and I feel like Celeste is going to show up at some point this week. So I've had 4 big ones come in this week, and I wasn't expecting it. So with CJ, I've been hoarding all of my sharks. And that's where I made my money this week.
How much? So the sharks go for
15.
What, 8 to 12? Do they go 15 straight up?
I think they're 15 straight up.
Wow,
because
that's huge.
I had a bunch of hammerheads and what's the whale ones just saved up, right?
Yep.
Because those I don't want statues of. I want a statue of the great whites. But I had all these hoarded up, and I sold them to CJ for about 350,000 bells, and was living on cloud 9, man. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I actually I'm specializing in the suckerfish.
Well, you are what you catch.
Well, I can't seem to do much more than that at this point, but I'm still working on it. But I didn't buy any turnips this week. I had bought them last week, cashed in really for a lot, and I don't know. I'm sitting on like $6 million in the bank right now.
Holy moly!
So there's no reason really for me to
make
spend
money?
a lot of effort. Well, just make any kind of effort on the turnips. I can see doing though kind of what you did. Just like keep some going to float, but right now 5 or 6 million in the bank, and my house is paid off.
Yeah.
So there's really no reason for me to do anything. I'm not particularly thinking about building bridges anytime soon.
No, just burning them, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, see, what I've been doing is I keep saying like this is the week that I'm going to start like really getting real about my island. And this would have been the perfect opportunity because, well, I've been homesick.
Right.
But I didn't. I've been really trying to make these personal relationships with my villagers and myself really worthwhile. I got Beardo a dress, and he's been wearing it since the day I bought it for him.
Oh, really?
So I got him a dress that kind of looks like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. Like that blue, lacy, and he put it right on, and he was like, this feels like me. And I was like, heck yes,
awesome.
it does. It is wonderful. You look great. Pietro. I got him the 8-bit sunglasses, and
Yep.
he's been wearing those around, right? So I really have been working these relationship with these villagers because, these are the ones I like. I don't want these ones to leave. The ones that I do not like, I've been harassing and just
Oh.
berating with butterfly net thwops. I know it does not
It doesn't do
it doesn't
anything.
do anything except when villagers get angry and they stomp around your island, they're just so adorable.
Yep.
So it's really been that. Nothing much else. I put a radio, a skull radio, in my plaza, and everyone's just been singing KK Bubblegum nonstop.
That's awesome. That is
And
great.
it's been wonderful. And I've noticed since I put that radio there that there's been more community built around the plaza. Instead of just having like 1 or 2 people in there, I've noticed that there's been, quite a few, up to 4 to 5 villagers in there at once, just when I added that radio. So I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but it feels cool.
Yeah, I noticed that when I put my radio in there too, as well as the saxophone, so that they could play the saxophone while they're and sing. It's awesome when that happens. I really wish we could put stuff in the plaza.
And
I understand
know,
why.
I
I understand why, but because they set stuff up and the concert's there and the vendors are there, but it would be nice not to have that limitation. But it's all been good. I really haven't had much different this week in my island. I've kind of been I worked a little bit on my force perspective. It's not ready to roll out yet because I haven't found. I need a ground texture that I'm happy with.
What kind of ground texture are you looking for, buddy?
So I don't want it to be a parking lot texture. I want it to almost be like a dirt texture.
Ooh, okay.
So if you the kind of dirt that you drive on,
drivable dirt.
But you've seen like dirt roads, right?
Yeah. No,
So,
hold on. What's this new concept?
I know.
Dirt road?
Well,
What?
you are young. I figured that there's no such thing anymore outside
Get
of my little corner of the world.
I work for a farm. Have you heard of apple tree? Like, come on.
Wait, trees with apples?
Trees with apples.
So
Compact Earth. What is the concept?
So, like on many farms, they have a dirt parking lot.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's the kind of look I'm going for.
That's compact Earth. All right, any listeners, if you have a compact dirt pattern, email it to send us a link to tooksnavern@gmail.com.
Tooksnavern.
Oh, it's good to be back podcasting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Otherwise, I've been done a lot of mystery islands as I thought I was going to. This past week has been just kind of checking in, doing some dailies, and that's been it lately.
Did I talk about Big Bug Island or Tree Bug Island last week?
No.
So last week when I was doing that villager hunter for my new villager, I came across an island that I haven't seen before, and it was pine trees just everywhere. And I was like, okay, this is a little weird. And like you would go in and you had raised earth to your right and raised earth to your left, and you would kind of go down the middle. And I was like, what the heck are all these pine trees doing here? And, once I hit the beach and I saw that the coconut trees had bugs on them, and I was like, oh my God, I think this is Bug Tree Island. And sure enough, I changed my camera view so it was right on my shoulders so I could see down the line, and that's all it was different bug trees or tree bugs. All over the place.
So were there a bunch of rare ones too?
Not that I saw because I wasn't there past 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Right? So a lot of those rare ones like the Atlas moth and a lot of the other ones, come past 7 p.m.,
Right.
But this was mid-afternoon.
Uh,
So no, I'm sure if I would have stayed there and farmed it a little bit harder, I would
Yep.
have gotten some of the rare ones. But since I was really more focused on finding a villager, I didn't stick it around as much as I probably should have. But you know what? I'll get a Goliath at some point, right?
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's pretty cool though. I know I haven't seen that particular island. I mean, I've had the natural Tarantula Island a few times, and I had that one big fish hybrid flower island, which apparently is no longer in the game, or
Interesting.
no longer I'm going to say no longer active.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, now that
Uh,
Shark Island is a thing, why would you need Big Fish Island?
right. Is Shark Island a thing? Because I haven't seen that yet
No,
either.
I'm
So
pretty. It has to be.
it has to be, right?
It has to be.
Yeah. Shark
All
Island.
you would get would be suckerfish.
Right. You know, and what they need is to have just a shark villager on that island, just hanging out, going, it feels weird to me, but I'm going to catch him.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, that was yeah. It's good to be back. I'm happy that I got some time in. I'm gonna just say, darn this Switch sale that's going on right now. It kind of lined up perfectly with my illness. But and we'll talk about that during the break. But
Sure.
let's hop into some of these news articles that we have.
Sure. I don't know about you, but when I'm playing Animal Crossing, I get a hankering for some fried chicken.
Well, yeah, always. I mean, that's a given. They go literally hand in hand, remote in one, and
Right.
a double stack in the other.
Right. So, in a really kind of weird, maybe correctly opportunistic thing, KFC started an Animal Crossing island, and they decorated it with custom designs. It actually looks amazing.
Of course it does.
And created like outfits that match the Colonel, and they're giving away free chicken.
It's the most KFC marketing scheme possible, right? This is what we know about our fast food giants here in the States, right? KFC is always kind of on the cutting edge of technology. You got to remember that KFC came out with that dating simulator.
That's right.
About it, I think it was about a year or 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They're always on the cutting edge of like, all right, what's hot? What are people doing? You have Arby's, right? Arby's is always working at social media on the nerd angle, right? So they cut their
Right.
boxes and make these crazy designs. And then you just have Wendy's, who is extremely mean to everybody.
Mean as all get out. Dave Thomas would not approve.
So I agree. But this doesn't surprise me that KFC has come out with a finger-licking good island, man. And it's sad to look at it because I'm pretty sure it's a 5-star island, and I'm still sitting here like a schlub with. Oh God, I'm too scared to check because I'm pretty sure like I've retrograded down to a 2-star island. I got no proof. I just feel it. I feel it in my heart. So
Yeah, so I would have expected this would have been done by KFC in Japan, because KFC is from
yeah.
everything that I've read is really big in Japan, and like to the point where around Christmas time it's kind of a go-to for a lot of families.
Interesting.
But this was done by KFC Philippines, and the link will be in the show notes. But they've replicated a menu. They've put the KFC logo all over the place. They have a little island in the middle of a pond that with the letters KFC all written out. And it's the cool thing is it looks like they actually didn't just go, okay, well, we need to put dining booths here and all that. But they went to the trouble of like growing flowers and collecting star fragments to decorate the island. They went above and beyond.
No, they have. They super have. And oh man, I wonder how big the the Philippines Animal Crossing community is. I know that one of our listeners, I think it was Milk-a-Lot, is from it was one of the people that left us an iTunes review was down from the
It
Philippines.
was, yeah.
I think it was Milk-a-Lot. I'm almost positive it was him. But I wonder how big it is down in the Philippines because, I know that we have UK listeners and, I know that it's huge in the States, but I really don't hear how big AC is everywhere else. Now, obviously, this is the biggest selling game in Japan overall, right? We know that. But, some of these smaller countries, I'm just curious on how big the community is. I mean, big enough where KFC's PR guy was just like, yeah, this is something that we need to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's possible that they said we should do this. It's not going to affect any business here in the country, but no, it had to be big enough to support that, right?
Sure,
I mean,
of course.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And honestly, if companies are going to go through the effort to make a really cool looking island and customize things, more power to them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them because it looks amazing and they didn't cheap out.
No, but it also shows that, you can't just manufacture an island like this overnight.
Right.
Well, you can if you're time traveling, but that's besides the fact. But, I mean, it actually takes some time and effort, even if you are time traveling to make an island like this. Like, it looks really good. And the custom designs, you can't, you have to make those by hand.
Right.
So, rats off to you.
That's gonna be the scandal. KFC, are they time travelers?
I wonder what the bagman has to say.
Maybe he'll talk about it today. Who knows?
I do, and he won't.
He won't. Yeah. All right. So this next story, we got from Polygon, and Ninja, the data miner, apparently has found a way to track the weather and shooting stars so that you can predict what the weather is going to be like on your island.
Now, we were talking about how we would want it to mimic real life, but this is something a little bit different to kind of manipulate through tracking and whatnot to figure out kind of like your stock markets on where it's going to rain and when it's going to
right. And apparently, though, this has to do with, so the name of the app, which is an alpha, is called Meteor Nook.
Of course.
And of course, as it would be. And there are instructions. I haven't done them yet, but you track weather changes on your island and carefully input the information so that it can figure out your seed. And once it has enough information, it'll tell you what comes next. Which is a little disappointing to me, but fine. There are over 2 billion possible weather seeds. So, and they say, but only one is correct for your island. So it goes through every possibility, calculates the weather it would give, and checks it against the data you provided. And if it doesn't make sense, then that possibility is ignored.
It's kind of like that kind of reminds me of the complex flower patterns that they have put into this game.
Kind of, right? But basically, they said during testing they had success with the following combinations. You have to have known dates for between 5 and 7.
What's 5-7?
Yeah, 5 and 7 heavy showers. The known hour and minute times for stars in a light shower spanning between 1 and 3 hours. The known hour, minute, and second times for a few different stars in a light shower. And the known dates and times for between 5 and 7 rainbows.
What'd you say?
Yes, rainbows.
Hold on, one more time?
The bows of rain.
Have you ever seen a rainbow in this game?
I don't know.
I
like if I saw one, it would be like in the background or something, and I didn't think anything of it.
I've never seen a rainbow in this game, and now I'm just going to be looking.
Yes.
For rainbows the entire time now.
Yes. It's I can't believe we haven't heard about this before, but yeah, the rainbow thing I find fascinating. So yes, now I need to find one.
But I mean, we haven't even seen it on Reddit.
Not really, right?
No, I feel like that would be top of the Reddit page, kind of news that there are rainbows in this game. Now, look, it makes sense because I've had multiple days where it's been downpour showers,
Yep.
and then within 10 minutes, the sun is out.
Sun. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I wonder if you go to the top of the island near the secret beach, like that's where your rainbow would be, or something like that. I have no idea.
I don't either. And again, I have a feeling that if I've seen them, I would have thought they were in just in the background. And so, oh, that just looks nice. Like those islands that you see way out in the distance.
Yeah.
You don't think anything of it. It's just a nice backdrop. And we have to ask the studio audience to please remain seated.
Please sit down.
So that was the one thing I need to find rainbows, because if I know that they actually are kind of a quote unquote natural occurrence within the game versus just a backdrop, that's huge.
Now, I normally do not break show to interact with the chat, but we just had one of our listeners here say, Philip, this is Melrose. She said, Phil, I sent you a picture today, and it has a rainbow in it. And I pull it up on Twitter, and yes, she is correct. She sent me a picture with a rainbow in it.
Oh, my God.
That's incredible. And the picture that she sent is her in front of her garden with statues, and the rainbow is perfectly arcing over top of her statues that she has in her garden. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to have to ask her during the break. We'll talk more on the break, Melrose, but that's incredible. I can't, like, she sent me that today, and I didn't even notice it. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. And she sent it to your personal?
No, she sent it to the Nook's private
tavern?
message. Yeah.
Okay. So,
oh
yeah.
my God, Illuminati confirmed indeed.
Wow.
So, well, I just, man.
Yeah. That's, and what's funny is I'm thinking that the big story is going to be the weather tracking. Nope. We just like rainbows.
Oh, my Lord.
So what do we got next?
So, the next article that we have here is that somebody has transformed their island into the iconic Breath of the Wild location. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. And we've had a bunch of these where people have transformed their islands into different parts of Hyrule. But this one is a little bit different. This is the village of... Oh, geez, I had it.
Kakariko?
Thank you. Kakariko Village in Breath of the Wild. And... man, I love when people do this because I haven't played Breath of the Wild in maybe 3 years.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I know exactly where in the village this is because that's how much detail they have into this piece of art.
And obviously, in true form, they take screenshots with the wisp on the island, which
Correct.
makes it look even better. And it's funny because the mushroom lamps I think I was aware of. I wasn't aware of how many different kinds there were.
Correct. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
And then that big old mushroom table, is it?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. It looks amazing. The thing that strikes me is when people say they're going to commit to a theme, they commit. I mean, and because they could get away without maybe the ground texture.
Well, everyone's looking for that trampled earth ground texture. I know. I know it's a hot commodity, right?
Well, you don't see it much anywhere. I mean, people are really just
they're hoarding their trampled earth.
Well, and they're just putting like stars and moons on the ground, nothing like trampled earth. Because you know why? Because dirt is hard.
I'm leaving.
Okay. Except
I
you can't get out.
No, but it's crazy. And then what's even crazier is some of these people spend, weeks upon weeks and hours on these islands, and then they get the pictures and the shots that they want, and then they tear them down and they do something completely different.
I can't even imagine.
Like, remember we were talking about that person who did the Link to the Past island, right?
Yeah.
I saw on Reddit a couple episodes or a couple weeks after that they just tore it down and they started something new. So it's just like, oh my God, how do you put all that time and work into something and then just Start fresh. I don't know. I guess it's endgame for some people.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe that's the fun for them. I mean, it might just be, okay, I've accomplished this design. It looks really cool. Now I have a better idea. I just can't see tearing down something that just takes that long. It's just ridiculous.
Nope, not me. I mean, I can't even set my island for the first time. So
Right,
you know.
exactly.
So Kurt, we are both in the northern hemisphere,
We are.
and in the southern hemisphere, it's winter.
Yep.
We know that. And a lot of people are down there are rolling up some snowboys. Have you seen any of the snowman talk about snowboys?
I've really not. I've seen some pictures of snowmen, but I don't know anything about this snowboys talk.
So, in true Nook's Tavern fashion, we have done zero research on this.
Sweet.
Because I've been very busy playing Animal Crossing, and so from what I can tell from the memes and everybody talking about it online is that you have to roll your snowman, right?
Right.
And it has to be a perfect snowman. Your base has to be a certain size, and your head has to match the base so that you don't have a snowman that's too lopsided. And apparently, a lot of our friends and listeners down in the southern hemisphere are being driven insane by trying to roll the perfect snowman. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this come winter.
Okay, well, we have a little bit of time. And frankly, the people who have to go through it now will probably give some advice by the time it's winter for us.
You think that, but I haven't heard any tips or tricks on how to roll out the perfect snowman.
Is it just that they don't pull a Frosty if you don't get them right, or
I think there's a point system.
Okay, so
but once again, I have done zero research.
So I'm gonna presume that you can have a misshapen snowman that's alive, just really not happy.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like in wedding season, you want to try to min-max your heart points, right?
Right.
I think they're trying to min-max their snow points, and just coming a couple balls short.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well. We'll see how it works out. I hope it's not too difficult. I just don't want to have to deal with that.
I'm just excited to be driven insane by something new come winter.
Yeah.
Because being stuck in home when it snows all day isn't enough to make Philip a dull boy. I have to have misshapen snowmen to drive me insane.
Yeah, well, maybe the new diving will come by then, and we'll have something else to do as well.
Oh yeah, some ice fishing and ice diving.
Yeah.
All right, well we've hit the mid-show break.
Cool.
Let's take a moment. If you're listening on the podcast, take a quick break, enjoy the ad. Everyone here in chat, we will take a moment and talk to all of you.
Cool.
Land of Arts, thanks for the follow. If you're still here, mate. Oh my God, Melrose, you still here? Yes, you are. Mel, can I borrow your picture that you sent me and put it out to on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that? Are you okay with that? Oh man, I'm trying to stay hydrated as well as I can.
Yep, he said yeah.
Thank you.
She.
Thank you. Close that news topics out. We'll open up the community spotlight. You need a drink or anything, Kurt Stable?
I got one right here, but thank you.
All right. Everyone doing well? Everyone having good? Show title, Dirt is Hard.
Oh, I love that people are thinking about that. Dirt is hard.
Or
that's not a bad
Dirt
one.
Hard. No, I wish that we could make a Die Hard pun there. Come out to the dirt. We'll have a few laughs. No.
Come out to the dirt.
Oh, jeez.
Rainbow's on my mind. Yeah, I know, it's terrible.
I can't believe that she sent me that picture, and I completely missed that rainbow. Which should have been, like, the focal point. Because now that I reopen it, it's just like, yeah, it's right there, you dum-dum.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that picture.
Well, I'll show it to you after the show.
Cool. Yeah.
Dirt hard too. Dirt harder. Dig for your dirt hard.
Oh,
Dig for your dirt hard. Well done. Well done, Captain. That is show title right now.
yeah.
Try to beat that. Dig free or dirt hard. Oh, God. Don't let him get 2 weeks on you, chat. Don't let him get 2 weeks on you. Oh, my God. Well done.
Yeah. Dig for your dirt hard. Yep.
Oh,
That is very, very good.
so good, Captain. You and the Captain make it happen. All right. Lead us back in.
And welcome back from the break. Thank you for sticking around for part 2 of Nook's Tavern. How is everyone doing tonight? Looks like we've got quite a few community spotlight things going on. So, Phil, have you seen these?
Yeah, Jay, I have.
Have you seen these?
Have you seen these?
Have you seen these?
So we, a couple weeks ago, it was a little bit heavier in the week, and we were talking about maybe people had fatigue on content creation, or at least being creative inside Animal Crossing. But the community has really come back in full swing, and the first one that we want to highlight here is somebody made or recreated the iconic scene of Snow White, where she is asleep on the slab, with literally all 7 dwarves around her in a field of roses. And
Yeah.
I love it.
It's great. It's a simple picture. All red roses and apple trees surrounding the red roses.
And the apple trees are such a nice touch.
Yes.
Just because of the story lore and all that. It's wonderful.
Yep. And adding like even the flowers on the forest floor. Not just the roses, but the surrounding textures. And then all those garden gnomes as the dwarves, and it looks amazing. It looks great.
Yeah,
They
it's
recreated
wonderful.
the dress. It's very, very cool. And I saw that, and it was so simplistic and just a sweet picture, not over the top really. Just it works. It just works.
It does.
Yeah.
And, it's just, like you said, it's a simple design, but I love it so much. And to have all 7 dwarves kind of perfectly, measured out on all sides of the rose petal forest was just perfect.
Right. Yeah, it was great. Now, that is in stark contrast to the next picture that we found, and it was somebody had recreated Rick's garage lab from Rick and Morty. And they have an in-game picture and a picture from the cartoon.
Yeah, it's pretty dead on.
It's pretty awesome.
You can get pretty nitpicky with it, but they did a really good job with this.
Yeah, they really did. Just the utility shelves and the lamps on the walls.
Well, not only the utility shelf, but if you look close up there, they put a skull up on top of that utility scaffolding. It's a shelf, you idiot.
It's a shelf. Yeah, on the top shelf.
Yeah, like Rick does. He's got a skull up there up top. So
right.
It's a little details like that to the science lab on the left, and they even went out and recreated his calendar and put it underneath the clock.
Right. Right, which I thought was great.
Yeah. It works perfectly.
Yeah.
Even the tissue box on top of the washer dryer is on there. So.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And the thing that I liked was the whole the beaker system, which they happen to have in Animal Crossing, like a science lab.
It kind of perfectly fills that void too.
Yep.
And the fact that they use the old wolf as Rick inside their picture is wonderful. So.
Yep. So I was kind of wondering if they were going to try to, when I heard about this, if they were going to try to use the wiener costume and try to customize it so it was green.
So it was a pickle Rick.
Which would have been great, but no such thing.
No, but this is perfect just the way it is.
Yeah. So, all right. So this next picture I almost didn't include.
Oh, why is that?
The dude's a monster.
Oh, what?
So this guy on Reddit said, "Hey, I felt sorry for Isabelle, and so I created her. I built her a new house, and it's just the doghouse behind the resident services." It's just
Well,
like,
I mean, that kind of feeds into the meme that I sent to
yes,
you today. Is where does Isabelle live?
right,
She lives
right,
somewhere. She's watching television somewhere constantly. Where is she living?
right. Now, and not that I believe this, but our mystery correspondent might say, "Well, that's because that's where Tom Nook puts her because he's a monster."
Mm.
But not that I would say
No,
that.
no, no. Of course
But
not.
yeah, but
But
mystery bagman
somebody
would.
might say that.
Somebody might say that, right?
Sure.
So yeah, so and so you brought these other two pictures, right?
Yeah. So the last community spotlights that I've kind of gotten obsessed with is people terraforming, and the terraforming these days has gotten really cool. Not just from like a first-person island point of view when you're running around the island, but how the map looks when people
Yep.
are done with it. I've come really obsessed with it. So the one that I want to bring now is the comedy and tragedy masks with musical notes built in with rivers and lakes and ponds, and they use the housing to kind of top off the mask crowns on each side, which is incredible. But if you look real close behind up top near the beach, they have it looks like um, dirt roads. I think it's called. I'm not sure. But they have a musical note lines and
Yep.
notes and lined paper up there.
So
Perfectly, it's just incredible.
yeah, so though it looks amazing. It looks amazing. And they did pay attention to the 5 lines and 4 spaces on the staff. So that's good. Uh
Staff, yeah. I couldn't
yeah.
remember dirt roads or staff.
Yeah, well,
Weird.
yeah.
I took a week
So
off, so what do you
yeah,
expect?
so no, that looks amazing. It really does. And again, so much work
So,
because you got to check over the top, and then you got to go back, and then you got to check over the top.
well, correct, yeah, yeah. But you also have to have an idea of what you want to do in spacing, right?
Right,
Spacing is the main point because you can get halfway through doing this and you realize, oh, geez, I didn't proportion this out correctly.
right.
So what I believe is, since this is on a grid, an AF 1 to 7 grid, is probably that they sketched this out by hand in those parameters and then plotted out what they want each square to look like.
Yeah. Now I know that there are some online tools where you can sketch out what you want for your island. Um,
Ah.
so that might have helped them with that. But yeah, that was very cool.
Well, if
Uh,
that's the case, this next one gives me headaches if they didn't use one of those tools.
oh my God.
Because this is Solace, which, if you take a real deep look at, it is planets and the moon and islands. And if you go into this Reddit post, which I'll put in the show notes, is each one of those little islands is a 1 by 1 square with flowers on them. So this person's whole thing is almost like a water world with a planetary
Oh,
overview to it.
oh,
So like his island is in 80% water,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
each one of the houses are on their own little moon that is connected to its own planet. It's just, I saw this week and I was like, no, that's not real.
Wow.
That's not real.
That just so much work.
That's not real.
That's
That's
all
not
I
real.
can think of. That's all I can think of is, oh my God, that's so much work.
I just really want a video tour of this person's island.
Ah, yeah, that'd
Right?
be great.
Just
Yeah.
because it's not real, we'll never get it. It's not made by a real person. But if you also look, they've got some pretty high level villagers on that island with them too. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, just the oh God, I can't even look at it without just being like, how do you have time to do anything else?
Well, ironically, if you look at the picture of them, in that they look exhausted.
Yeah, it's true. It's very much true. But it's just so gorgeous, and Oh God, I can't even look at it
Yeah.
anymore. So,
Yeah.
but I've
It's
come obsessed with these, like these looks, these island maps of these terraformed worlds that are literally out of this world, especially with this one. So
right.
it's absolutely stunning.
I'm still waiting because I think, we've talked about forced perspective, and we've talked about stuff like this where you're creating like these pictures in a way that nobody really expected. But I still wonder with custom designs for the ground, and I think I mentioned this week 1 or 2, where you see these paintings on sidewalks where it looks like there's a deep pit
Yeah,
if you look at it from the right
sure,
perspective.
sure, sure.
I'm wondering if and when we'll ever see stuff like that. I mean, because it's as much work as anything that people have done already, and multiple tiles, so you'd have to mesh them all together the right way, and we know that can work, but whew, I think we'll see stuff like that.
Oh, man, I hope so, because it's islands and things like this that kind of every time I think that, like, well, they can't really figure out new things to really wow me with,
Right,
and yet they
right.
do.
They do
Like, this is insane,
every single
absolutely
time.
insane.
Yep, every single
And
time
yet
there's somebody new.
Isabelle cannot have a house. It's insane.
Right. Oh, you know what? Did we talk about the YouTube video? And we can just link it in the show notes.
Which one?
The remix.
No, 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 no. And
Yeah.
that fits into community spotlight.
It does, absolutely does. Yeah. So if you go to YouTube and you're searching for Animal Crossing and KK Slider music, you'll find a whole lot of people recording their own versions. And so the one that we're linking to in the show notes today is a rocking version of KK Bubblegum, and it is awesome because it's a fully produced video, and it is by a
Menon.
user.
It's by who?
By Menon. It's by a user, by a group called Amy Undercover. No, Arnie. I can't read. It's Arnie Undercover, ARNY.
It would be funny if it was like the band is Dirt Roads. And...
Right. It's Arnie and the Dirt Roads. Yeah. No, Arnie Undercover, and they do this rockin' version of Bubblegum KK, and it's got 3,300 views, which isn't much, but it's worth it. People should go check it out.
And since we're talking music, another thing that I have found and had a lot of fun with over this weekend was on Spotify. There is a artist named Clay, K, just the letter K, Slider. And what he or she does is they do KK Slider cover songs of popular music. So, they have a Take on Me and Hotel California, Mr. Blue Skies, but they have 2 albums right now on Spotify, and it's really fun to hear these songs KK slidered up. So
in the style of KK, so the other way around.
Oh yeah, completely.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
I don't want to play any here on stream because of copyright uses and all that, but
right.
They have I think one of my favorite was either "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen, or "How Does Everyone," or
I can see that. I can hear it. Me, meow.
I don't want to get sued. And Toto's Africa has, which is
I can hear him.
It's already kind of in the game when you catch a fish and you keep it on the screen.
Right.
So just check those out, man, because they're a lot of fun. And especially if you have friends who like Animal Crossing, you can do your own little, hey, can you figure out how fast can you figure out this KK cover?
Wow, yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely checking that out.
You should. You most certainly should. So.
All right.
Well, I think it's going to do it for our community spotlight. Kurt, why don't you go get your friend, and I'll start the intro to everyone's favorite segment.
He's not my friend. I just bumped into him one day.
Behind the Bells. The Nook Syndicate story. Hey, Bagman.
Hey, Phil. How you doing?
It's all right. I've had a rough week, but I'm on the mend, my dude. How are you?
Well, running from the man as
I
always.
also was running this week.
Uh, uh, so different kind of running, I'm pretty sure. But
I don't know what you mean. Anyway,
so
what's good?
well, nothing. Nothing is good. I just want to talk about. This is a story that I've kind of been putting off for a little while because it's kind of sad, and but it needs to be told. And that is the story about the Abel sisters. How much do you know about the Abel sisters there, Phil?
The three sisters?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I know quite a few about them. They're
Well,
lovely fashion designers. That have a beautiful shop here.
they
Their
do.
sister Label, I think she's the younger one. She went out and tried to make a name for herself. Now she's a big old fashion designer, and she always says that I look pretty, and
Yeah,
makes me feel good about myself. So yeah, no, and they're a lovely part of this community. Look at my sequin shirt and my sailor hat. I picked these up today.
you might not feel so good about it after this. So we know that
Uh,
there's Mabel, Sable, and LaBelle. And Mabel pretty much runs the store, and she seems to be pretty friendly. And you walk in, and she's all happy and
Yeah, she always shouts at me,
well,
"Hey, yeah, welcome, welcome. Hey,
yeah.
everything's great. It's good to see ya."
And Sable makes everything. Like Sable is constantly working her
And
fingers to the bone.
she always makes my day when she talks to me and just like, "Hey, Phil, you came all the way down here to talk to me. Oh, that's great. Here, let me give you this pattern. I appreciate you."
That's true. Although, at the beginning she's very, very standoffish, right? She's almost rude, unless you persist and you keep going back and you keep talking to her every day, and eventually she starts talking to you about her and Mabel's childhood and everything. And so this is where it gets a little sad. And so when she and Mabel were young, their parents died, and they're pretty forthcoming about that. And I'm not saying that a certain Tanuki did it, but I don't know. I don't know. It seems a little suspect.
All
Um,
right.
but that's okay. Their parents died, and um, they had to keep going, right? So, did you know that the very first thing that Sable ever made was a pair of gloves for Mabel?
I did not, but that's very sweet.
Yeah, except she made it because Mabel got frostbite on her claws. So, anyhow, if you keep talking to Sable, she eventually reveals that Label, now called LaBelle, ran away to become a fashion designer in the big city. And she ran away right after their parents died. And this is the point where I believe Tom Nook came in and quote unquote took her under his wing, or rather paw.
No.
Um, and uh, I believe his attitude was, keep making fashion for me and I'll set your sisters up with a store and quote unquote keep them safe. Uh, and the sad part of all this is that Sable kind of resents LaBelle for running away and is secretly afraid that someday Mabel will do the same. So that's why she works all the time. You go in on a Saturday and she's like, "Well, I can work more on Saturdays because not as many people come in," which is not true, but it's something she's just using to justify. So it's 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 interesting when you dig a little bit more into their history. The sad part,
Oh, hold on. It gets
what?
worse.
Well, here's
Uh,
here's the one. So here's the thing. Sable is actually the first person to ever mention Tom Nook before he became a corrupt businessman. I will say he's a corrupt businessman. I will stand by that to this day. But the word is that before he got involved with the money, his slogan was "Dreams before money."
So
Is
what?
what?
I guess
Well,
absolute power corrupts
yes,
absolutely.
yes. So, and Sable said that she knew him when he was very young, and he was like, "Oh, dreams before money. We can have the world." And then he got some control, got control of the village, started controlling all of the revenue going in and out of every place that he's ever been in charge of. And I don't believe it's dreams before money anymore. I think it's money before all. Um,
So I guess
so
the only one that could really start the revolution and the uprising would be the person that knows him best.
maybe, but here's the thing. Um, much the same as it is with Isabelle, I believe the Able sisters are indentured, and only LaBelle is secretly keeping them safe through her constant design creation. I think Nook is very much like, keep doing these designs or else.
And it's funny that she resents her, even though she's the reason
They
keeping
need to,
her.
right. They don't, well, she's very concerned, and it's like, it's the whole family thing, right? If you don't communicate, then you may never reconcile. So it's a very sad story, but I believe that it's exacerbated by Tom Nook, because he has to be in control of everything. So anyhow,
You always leave me feeling so great.
and I'm always scared and gotta go.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks
Have
for
a good week.
Yeah, you as well.
Oh, hey Phil.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right.
Wait, is he a father? No. No. Most certainly not. Father to the rats, I guess.
Oh.
Oh, hey, Kurt.
Hey, that's just mean.
Oh, what do you mean that's mean? I'm sure he. Well, yeah, but I don't know where I'm going with this.
Right.
Anyway, you got anything else, man?
I really don't. Well, here's the thing. I put it out there last week, and we got so much response to it that I'm going to put it out there again because we got nothing. So my challenge for okay, this, you don't even know I'm going to do this, but for a $20 Nintendo gift card.
Holy moly!
For a $20 Nintendo gift card, recreate the Flintstones intro in Animal Crossing.
Well, I mean, come on, that's gonna take more than 1 week, Kurt.
Hey, look, those Nintendo gift cards are gold.
All right, there's a bounty on that Flintstone's head. It's up to you to claim it. My lord. All right, well, after your bounty, I guess let's get into the outro. Cue that wonderful music, Philip. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, and Twitch at Nook's Tavern. This episode of Nook's Tavern was brought to you by our executive producers, also known as the Bagman Brigade. Thank you, B-Mel. You want to support the show? Head on over to patreon.com/Nook's Tavern and show us some love. Like our newest patron, Kilted Pipe Guy. If you have a moment, please head on over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Like our newest 5-starer,
Chris29, who says, amazing AC podcast, 5 stars all the way from the UK. He says, I've been listening to podcasts for a while, but I recently discovered this gem. Great presenters that keep a great balance between keeping their listeners informed about game updates and having a laugh. I would personally love to hear maybe a bit more about the villagers on the guys' islands. Any budding romances or heated discussions between scrolling between villagers, etc. Also a huge fan of the NPC theories. They're hilarious. Keep up the great work.
And I actually did take that to heart, Chris. I've tried to work in some more of the relationships that I'm having with my villagers. But because you took the time to leave us an iTunes review, we have taken the time to get you some art. And here is a picture of your villager done by our in-house artist, Emily Swan. So enjoy that, and I will email that to you right after I post the show today.
Oh, that's a really great looking picture.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you to Emily Swan for our album art and the wonderful weekly art that she has provided for each episode, plus these iTunes reviews. If you want to support her, head on over to patreon.com/a-swan-named-Emily. You have a story about your island to share? Or just a community spotlight? You can email the show over at nookstavern@gmail.com. Join the wonderful community over in the Discord at tiny.cc/nookstavern, all underscore on that. Kurt, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at VO by Kurt, on Twitch at Kurtstable, and I was left a note by Bagman that his Twitter is Mr. E. Bagman on Twitter, and he's constantly giving Nook the what for.
You can find me all over the internet at Imaginary Nomad. I'm on BotW D&D Podcast. I am part of the Bromigos of the Streampocalypse over on GSTU Media every Sunday night at 8 p.m. And a bunch of other shows on that GSTU Media. Check out my schedule over at twitch.tv/Imaginary Nomad. I keep saying I'm going to bring Monday nights back, but I don't. So don't believe me on that until it actually happens. Anything else, Kurt?
Cut some trees.
And if you are a father, and we know that you guys are out there, have a wonderful Father's Day, and we will catch you next week. See ya! Oh, Chris is in the show. Chris is here in the live show. Chris,
Nice.
Your art looks wonderful, man. It really captures that picture that you sent us. I love it. I love it so much. B-Mel, man, thank you for being an EP, but also have a wonderful Father's Day as well. Oh, man, good episode.
Yeah, felt pretty good, except for
man.
Dennis in the chat room.
Well, Dennis is Dennis, and unfortunately, I don't have the mod page up, so I couldn't kick him.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That's all right. All right, everyone, get out of my studio so I can get out of my house. Oh, man. I am sweaty.
Yeah, I gotta turn my fan back on.
Hold on, come back here, Hygiene. I just want to show everyone in the chat room the insanity of the people that we have here. Kurt, what did you say everyone looks like?
I don't remember now.
Oh, that everyone looks like they're in the
Oh no, yeah. So everybody looks like they're in the audience for Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah. Oh my God, look at these two. But then again, you look at me and I'm in a sequin shirt with Daisy Dukes.
Well, here's the thing. I'll change into something that's more appropriate for Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Well, I'm not near you because I'm still stuck in the studio.
Yeah, so I'm coming up. I'm coming back up. There. That's my Let's Make a Deal outfit.
Oh, there you go. Man. Oh, we should end recording.
Yeah, good idea.
Whoops.
Cool.
Alrighty. So I don't dig up fossils anymore, so if you want to go grab some free fossils, they're out there.
I have a complete fossil museum, so I don't need to.
Well, that's true, and you got 6 million bells, so...
Yeah, and I barely dig up my own fossils at this point.
Oh, these two.
All right, I'm going to head back to my island so I can edit.
Yeah, because you got to get on your show, yeah.
Yeah.
We ran a little bit late, but that's all right.
Yeah. Again, it went later than I expected. I thought we were going to be a little short on info, but once again, nope.
And I think we're still going with... I'll roll through the chat to see what Hygiene's... dig free or dirt hard. Dig free or dirt hard, is that still the episode title that we're going with?
It was that, right?
Yeah, it is. I got it right here.
Yeah, then yes.
All right, if nobody can beat that, can I shop? Yes, the shop is open, and every DIY recipe is free to take. Thank you, Steve, man. Have a good rest of your shift. Be safe. I love you.
See ya. All right, heading home, and yeah. So I'm gonna get off so I can edit here.
Yep.
Have you stopped the stream yet?
Nope, I'm gonna keep going for a little bit and mess around the
Okay.
island with everyone.
So me quitting the Zoom is not going to cause
Nope.
you problems.
Won't cause anything.
All right, cool. Then
Bye,
I'm
Kurt.
Going...
Thank you.
See ya.
Oh, that felt good. Felt good to be back. Being sick is annoying. Botched had a lovely movie night. That was, I got to watch that from home. That was fun. I would turn my camera on, but I look like Wolverine. Not the cool X-Men, but an actual mammal of a Wolverine. I look terrible. So welcome back, Phil. Thank you. Thank you, B-Mel. It's good to be back. Still a little hoarse. You may call me a pony, I guess. Need more mods. It's true, Kilted. We do need mods. Thank you, Captain. Have a good one. We need mods, but we don't have any. We normally don't need too many mods. Just for people like Dennis, who don't understand what a family-friendly stream or show is, or how to even make one. Let's see. I will show you guys Pietro's house. It's pretty incredible. This is Pietro's house. It's wonderful. Oh, he put his 3D glasses or his 8-bit glasses over there. Custom engineered for your body. Do I have anything in my pockets? Oh, I want to give him that mage hat, but I don't want to lose it. Nope. It's great. His house is great. No, it's not a nightmare palace. It's a wonderful place. Let's go check in on Beardo to see if he's still wearing that pretty dress that I talked about on the show tonight. He is still wearing his pretty little dress. I love him so much. What are you making for me, Boo? What you crafting? A mum's reeve. Sure, let's tell me about that dream. The inside of Phil's mind. You're not wrong. He looks so adorable. I love him so much. My misfit island, misfit villagers. The island of misfit villagers. Ah! It can't be Christmas quick enough. Quick, save that title. Let's check in on Julian. I think this is Julian's house. No, it's Louie's. I don't care about Louie. This might be Julian's. Yes! Yes. You know what Julian needs? Let's give Julian my mage hat. Come on, try it on. Yes! Oh, it's perfect. Painter's coveralls. Oh, double through the sound. Really? Why would that be? I think that just might be on you, Kurt. I don't know. Maybe it's the oh, you know what? It's the outgo. It's the output audio capture. Since we don't normally move around in game. But oh, I love him or her. I love this unicorn. Such a dope house. Look, my Daisy Duke's got holes in them. So good. Anywho. Now, if we can just get rid of some of these other villagers. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, get these weeds out of here. Alright, so what we'll do is we will troll the beach real quick for some sharks. And if we find no sharks, we will end the stream and I will start editing this episode together so I can get it out to you lovely people. Oh, well, hygiene, I could probably get you a bubblegum if you want it. I'll have to wait until everybody leaves to check the catalog, but I probably could get you one. If not, I'll keep my eyes out for you and just send it your way when it comes in. There ain't no fish out here right now. And it's too cloudy for a shooting star. Alright. Ooh, but I don't need I don't need that. I don't need that. One last tour of the front. Some seashells. All right. That is where we're going to end stream tonight, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. The podcast will be up later on tonight. Thanks, everyone, for coming out for the live show. Thank you, B-Mel, for sticking around on the island. And I'll check everyone out on Sunday on the GSTU page as the Bromigos play some Sea of Thieves. And if you don't see that, then I'll see you here next week at 8 p.m. for another Nook's Tavern. Thanks, everyone. Bye.